A story of manipulation, loyalty, and love. That's what you'll find in Garth Stein's latest novel.
It's called A Sudden Light, and Garth is here to tell us about it. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So those are some rich topics.
Yes.
Set the scene for us.
It's a multi-generational family drama that's set against the Northwest timber industry, but more than that, it's about fathers and sons and how that relationship ripples through a family, through generations of a family.
Okay.
It's about our relationship with nature. And it's also about being open to seeing the unseen, seeing beyond the obvious. You know, it's a ghost. There's a ghost in it, so it is a ghost story in a way. But it's my interpretation of a ghost story. It's more of a spiritual story. Right. You're not going to find anybody with a hockey mask and a machete in it.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
Well, yeah, because she was worried about the nightmares. Okay, so there's a theme of wanting to do the right thing throughout the novel. Is that right?
Yeah, it's about redemption. It's about the idea of we must come to terms with our past before we can move forward to the future. But that doesn't just apply to us as individuals. Sometimes it applies to our generations of previous generations of our families, such as the Riddell family and the timber baron patriarch from the 1890s who's started the whole ball rolling.
So the Pacific Northwest sounds like is really key to the setting of the story. And isn't that your home as well?
Yes, I'm from Seattle, and I grew up just down the hill from this very wealthy enclave called the Highlands, which was a gated community that was started by the people who founded Seattle, essentially, the turn of the 20th century. Fascinating place, huge mansions. And we grew up down the hill, and we always look up there and say, who lives in these mansions? So I guess the location of the North Estate in my book is based on the idea of the Highlands.
Okay, so when you set out to write this book, did you envision it as a play?
I wrote a play first, which was something I did that has a lot of the same characters and a lot of the same setup. And then when it came time for me to write a new book, I wanted to work with those characters some more. Theater is about the immediacy of the drama, like what takes place right on stage in front of our eyes. And a novel, you can trace back the history and go back these 4 or 5 generations that I went back.
Now this is a follow-up to your New York Times best-selling novel, The Art of Racing in the Rain. Is there pressure to live up to that again?
The Art of Racing in the Rain was narrated by a dog and whose master's a race car driver, so it kind of has all the good stuff. You know, it spent 3 years on the New York Times bestseller list. So at some point there is some pressure, but at a certain point, you know, Enzo the dog is Enzo the dog, and I have to keep doing what I do, and I have to trust that my readers will trust me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, I trust you. What I want to know is it scary? Because Valanda was saying, she was reading some of the stuff, she's like, I don't know, are we going to be afraid to fall asleep for this one?
I don't think you're going to, no. I mean, the spirit who is in the house is a very benign and wonderful character. So there's some really cool stuff in it, free climbing these 300-foot trees in the Northwest. The setting is very cool, and the forest is all, encroaching, always growing in on this family. And there's this gigantic mansion that's just falling apart. They have no money to keep it up. So it's a big family drama that's good fun.
Wow.
Garth, thank you so much for telling us about it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.